everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Pauline. For today's video, I'm gonna make some tips and tricks and advice as to how to introduce your baby or how to introduce your newborn to your toddler or older child that needs to be introduced to your new baby. A new person that has to be introduced, and a stranger, actually a complete stranger that has to be introduced to your whole family, especially to your children, small children who needed a thorough introduction in order for him or her not to be surprised as to who is this person. I've curated some tips and tricks and advice as to how I introduce my newborn to my toddler. So let's get this started. The first tip and advice that I can give you to introduce your baby to your toddler is through communication. And I think this is not just applicable to introducing your newborn to your toddler, but just life in general. Having a really good communication minimizes arguments and gives clarity of your intention and maintaining social skills and maintaining relationships. And it's very important for you to communicate to her, so the parents has to communicate to your toddler, because this is the part where the baby is not yet at home. The baby is not born on this process yet. So communicating with your toddler as to who is this stranger that's coming in your house. Is she or he, if the baby is a he or a she, that's coming in your house in how many weeks or days. Very descriptive and imaginative description of, like, there's a baby inside mommy's tummy and he or she will be out in like a couple weeks. Just talking and communicating to her is really very important to set those expectations that your family is welcoming a new person in the family. In our case, I have mentioned that mommy has a baby inside my tummy and it's a boy. We can name him Jace Phineas, that's the name of our son, and he will be here soon in 4 days, 3 days, whatever. I've set expectations that when the baby is here, you're gonna be a big sister, and then mommy will be carrying a small and tiny baby just like you before, and just communicating her about the process of having a baby in general. The second tip that I can give you is to include her in the nesting process. This tip actually is very fun for us because I have included my toddler throughout my nesting process. So we went to the baby store to get some items and she was with us, and I helped her choose between what clothes to get, what books to get. It's such a great way for her to feel validated and recognizing her opinions and like options for the baby, and that really will let her feel great about herself and preparing for the big moment. I think the 8th month I was really very focused on my nesting, and I've organized like so much organization during that time, and my toddler really was one of my cute tiny little helping hand, which helped me put away the clothes, which helped me and my husband build our nursery, because we assembled the baby's crib and the drawers, and she just has those tiny hands handing us the tools. It's just so cute and so sweet and so special. Those last moments was like so special for me, and I think for my daughter as well, to be helping in welcoming the new baby. If you are in the market for Play Kids subscription, Lovevery is the perfect company for you. Lovevery is a Play Kids subscription company which curates the best and the most age appropriate and developmentally appropriate toys for your kids. As a mom and as someone who has a degree in psychology and child and youth work, it is very vital for me to get my kids age appropriate toys. One, it's not just beneficial for their brains and cognitive development, having the specific toys for them to play depending on how they are age-wise. It is also very important for me in connection to keeping my house organized and clean. I mentioned that I have a son who is about to turn 4 months this coming October, and so for now he has the Charmer kit, and the Charmer kit has all the toys developmentally specific for that age range. The Charmer has rattles, has sprinkled toys, visual practice photos, and rattles and shakers. It's just perfect for that age range. So with minimalism, I can put away the toys, the Charmer kit, which is for month 3 to 4. I can put them aside, put them away, and take out the toys that, again, developmentally specific for that age. If you're having second thoughts, and now that you've seen this video, this is your sign to get a Lovevery Play Kit subscription. Feel free to check the website that I'll put on the description box. Thank you so much for supporting me as a small content creator. Let's go back to today's video. Number 3 tip is to reading to her a big sister or big brother book. Put the book in here that we use for our toddler. A friend actually gave it to us, and it's the sweetest book ever in welcoming a new baby. It's just so sweet. I read this to her every single night. Like every single night, I think, since I was 4 months pregnant. I was reading it to her every night. So she gets to choose 2 or 3 books in a night that we read before she goes night. And it's just so special to read this to her. On the book, there's like the tummy of the mom is like growing and growing and growing. The baby inside the tummy and her as the big sister are like communicating with each other, since like the tummy is like so small, and it gets to the point where the baby's out of the tummy and they're like going swimming, whatever. It's just so cute and so special. So I recommend having a book, a big sister or big brother book, which you can read to your toddler or to the older sibling, in order to smoothen the transition to introducing a new baby to the family. 4th tip, this is during the big day, when you're going home with the baby and it's time for you to introduce the new baby to your toddler. So what we did, show yourself first without the baby yet. So don't just go home and just show, here's the baby. We didn't do that with our toddler because I wanted it to be a gradual introduction and transition. So when we arrived home, it was just me, my husband, and our newborn. It was so special because we stayed at the car first, and my husband went inside the house to grab my toddler. But before she grabbed my toddler and brought her to the car, my husband has to introduce that the baby is here. Remember the book that mommy reads to you about, the big sister book, that there's baby inside mommy's tummy. He basically reminded all the things that we did, the nesting process, the books that we read. We actually communicated with my husband about this one for the introduction to be gradual and smooth, before he brought our daughter in the car where she gets to meet her little brother. And it was the sweetest thing ever. She doesn't really understand that the attention for sure will be divided, and especially that the newborn has more needs than her. So we brought her in the car and we get to introduce the baby, the name, and again I ran through the book. We then get inside the house and we continue the introduction and stuff, and it was actually so smooth. I wasn't really setting my expectations so high. I somewhat kind of expecting for her to cry or, you know, distance herself for a few days, but that's not the case for Paula. The last tip that I can give you with introducing your newborn or introducing your baby to your toddler or to an older sibling is to include him or her in their routine with a newborn. It is very special for me to include my toddler in our routine with a baby, so then she doesn't feel left out. And I might make a separate video on that, on like activities that you can do with both your newborn and your toddler, but I'm not gonna promise. With the reading, if you've been following us, you know that my toddler really loves books. When I try to read to my newborn, I also include my toddler in our like reading session in the morning. I read the books that she's familiar. I didn't really buy too much books for our newborn, but I've read the same books that we've read with my toddler when she was also little, and that's what makes it special, because they share the same bond that I have with my toddler before when she was little. It's also very important to set one-on-one time with your toddler. Let's face it, you have a divided attention already, having a newborn and a toddler. Might be going on a play date with just you and her. It could be getting a snack with just you and her. It helps her recognize that she is still like special to you. So yeah, I think these are the tips and tricks that worked for at least for our family, for my toddler. I hope you learned a thing or two from this video. Again, my name is Paulene. Thank you so much for watching. I would highly appreciate it if you can subscribe on the red subscribe button down here. I also have an Instagram. It's @home_Paulene. I post our daily like life updates on our Instagram, and I hope you can give us a follow as well. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!